All right. How are we doing? I'm already seeing people come in. Hi. Hey. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're going to wait a little while to make sure some people get in and all that. Yeah, fudge in the chat. Yes, no spoilers. I put a an extra little thing on the image right here to make sure people understood. One of the rules here is going to be no spoilers, if not for my sake, for everyone else in the chat's sake. Keep the keep the spoilers down. Also, as always, be kind to each other. And really there's not much else. I also so I've added a couple extra measures to try and make sure that there isn't any spamming. So we'll see if that works. Hopefully it does. So, can we talk about Garrett in this episode? We love two Bama bumpkins bonding abroad. Yeah, they really laid it all bare this episode. There was no preview. There was a preview. There was one. They showed sort of next episode. It looks like there is a 3-on-1. I'm thinking I'll talk about that later in my preview video. And the interesting thing I want to point out, if we're just going to get right into this, is that I think it was Tyler in the preview. He said something like, and there are 5 guys left, which makes me believe that someone leaves or they're talking about Mike going home, which I think is something that's going to happen next week. He's not going to get a rose because Mike will get a one-on-one next week. Jed this episode. Yeah, I know. Jed this episode, pretty interesting. With all the music after the using everything as a platform. Yeah, Jed is red flagging me. I know, I guess, well, like, to be fair to the people at The Bachelor, there's not much they can do to change the edit right now so suddenly with the footage that they've got. So they can't really not include some of it, but they really didn't have to include that like 10 minutes of Jed singing after everything that's come out. You know? They really didn't have to include that. Yes, keep things spoiler free, please. The chat goes by fast, so I won't be able to catch everything, but also if you're looking at the chat, I've seen everything. I've seen everything in the chat. I've seen probably every name get called the winner in the chat, so don't take everything you read for certainty. What are your thoughts on Luke P? Yeah, he's going to be around for a little while longer. I think he's a final 3. I know I talked a lot about Greece in the preview, but it really is a big thing. If you make it to Greece, you've pretty much made it to the final 3. So there's no doubt that Luke makes it at least that far. And Tyler, yeah, Tyler is great. Tyler and Peter were great this episode because it seems like consistently Tyler and Peter are the only ones who are out of the drama, and you can just kind of like when they're on the screen, you can kind of relax for a little bit. So those are the two that I'm really liking. The real winner is America when Luke finally goes home. I know, right? I know. If Tyler doesn't win, I quit the franchise. Well, you know, if Peter won, I'd be happy too. Can't wait for Bachelor in Paradise. I know. Plot twist: Luke is the Bachelor. Yikes. I'm so conflicted about Jed now. I know it's been a strange journey. This whole time with everything with Jed, it's just been. Oh, that's not the one I wanted, but I'll play the music anyways. By the way, speaking of conspiracy, if you haven't checked out my Jed conspiracy video, probably most people here in the chat have, but yeah, it's been pretty crazy. It's been a pretty crazy week with everything with Jed that's come out and some of the theories that have happened. Connor is in no previews. What the heck? I know. I thought maybe I just did the math wrong, but I guess only two people went home this week, so it was Dylan and Dustin. So Connor is still around, but he's for sure going home next week. He's for sure going home, and Garrett will go home on that 3-on-1, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, it could be that too. I think Connor is the guy that Luke sends home. That is definitely a possibility. Now here's some spam I'm gonna let go. Yeah. I love Tyler. Also, I love your channel. That's some proper spam in the chat. Just got here. What did I miss? Almost nothing. So pretty much, I don't know if there's been a time where I really feel like, other than me predicting Connor was possibly going home this week, which I guess the numbers were off. It was only two people going home this week. Pretty much everything I predicted, I'm still really confident in. I think Mike is going to have a one-on-one and not get a rose. And then Tyler and Jed are going to get one-on-ones and get roses. And then they showed in the preview Peter one-on-one with Hannah. But if you pay close attention to the preview, you'll see that Peter is wearing the same outfit when he talks. He has this like a little one, like a chat with Luke. And that definitely means that I think Peter's the third on that 3-on-1. And then, I don't know, Connor's just like not there. Connor's just there for the ride, right? So we'll see about Connor, but Connor's going to go home. Maybe Connor chooses to go, maybe that would explain some of the stuff. He is on the 3-on-1. Yeah, I think it's for sure. I'm pretty confident. I'll take another look at everything for the preview video, but I'm pretty. Hey, Think Story. What are your thoughts on Garrett? Thanks for the donation. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, my thoughts on Garrett. Garrett is just kind of filling some of the drama for the moment, and he's going to go home on the 3-on-1. I think that's just about it for Garrett. He's not made a strong enough impression. He's not had enough screen time, but he obviously got that one-on-one. And what about, I don't know if anyone noticed, if you go back to not this last video, not the preview video, but the one before, there's like a part where he sits down with Hannah and he talks with Luke. I think it was last week during that like hour-long rose ceremony part where he has a full fleshed out Southern accent. And it just doesn't seem like that's something he ever had anywhere else. I don't know. That was pretty strange, but yeah, no, Garrett, he's just kind of filling that time. I mean, not that I have anything against him. It's just he has no chance, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I miss John Paul Jones. Absolutely. How do 3-on-1s work? So, as far as I can tell from this 3-on-1 that's going to be coming up, I imagine it's just sort of like a 2-on-1. They have some sort of date activity, and they all go on it. And then it comes down to a part where they sit, and each of them go off and talk with Hannah, and have a little one-on-one chat, and then Hannah chooses what goes on next. So, as far as I have been able to tell from the previews, it looks like there is 2 roses on that date. So one person will go home and 2 will stay. So my guess is that Luke and Peter stay. Garrett goes home based on the footage that they've shown us thus far. If Jed wins, I'm done. I know. But, hey, I feel like that the theory about him being the mystery proposer is possible. I mean, there's a couple of things that go against it still, so don't assume that's fact, but it was a really good conspiracy. So, I'll switch the image to something a little nicer for now, something that we can all kind of chill out and relax with. There you go. Our boy Tyler, who just is wonderful. Plot twist: Colton is the one that comes back with the ring. Now that's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy that I'm in on. What do you think about Garrett as Bachelor? I if Garrett's the Bachelor, then I think they asked a number of people, and they all said no. No offense to Garrett, but I feel like there are a number of other options, and I feel like we won't really get a true gauge on who the Bachelor is going to be until we get a good way through Paradise. So, yeah. Mike as Bachelor, yeah, absolutely. I think Mike's it. And honestly, right now, start throwing your social media presence into people that you like for Bachelor, because they are noticing, and they're starting to notice right now. Mike Fleiss has already been posting, like, who do you like for the Bachelor on here? Tell me who you're liking for the Bachelor during this episode. And they're not going to decide tonight. They're not going to decide anytime soon. But they are noticing. And they are noticing how trends are going to be changing. So if you're feeling like it's changing for you, you thought one person you might like for Bachelor in one moment, and then a week later you're thinking someone else, switch it up. Start vocalizing that, but start doing it now, because they are noticing. And it plays a huge factor. Like, we can actually have an effect on who the Bachelor is going to be. We can do that as a community. Peyton Labar, thanks for the super chat. $10, and she says, why no mention of Mike this whole episode? I think when it comes to Mike, there was just a lot of other stuff going on this week. I think Mike is fine. I think there was just, with Garrett and the whole Luke drama and everything like that, it was just Mike's week to kind of take a step back, but he's going to get a one-on-one next week. So don't worry about Mike. He's gonna be making much larger of an appearance next week. So JPJ, Johnny PJs for Bachelor, absolutely. So Luke is just on the show for ratings, for how strong Hannah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think. No, well, to be fair, I think Hannah really does like Luke, and I think Hannah, she was kind of pulled into the Luke world very early on, and a lot of what we're seeing right now is her hanging on to that early Luke, who, when you look back at it, Luke in the very first episode, he has an awesome first episode. He does a lot of the right things. When I watched that episode, I thought a lot about the previews, and so I knew Luke was going to be this kind of red flag guy. But I got to give him props, because he did play it well. The problem is, like, playing it well is sometimes not being genuine, So I can understand why she might be holding on to Luke. Who do you want to win? I want Tyler to win. And I would be equally happy if Peter, like the past few episodes, I'd be equally happy if Peter won too. Early Luke was a weirdo, but he played it, I guess, I don't know, it's a weird thing to say, strategically well. Like, he was the first person after the whole Scott scenario to pull Hannah aside and repair the whole night. Aubrey, thanks for the super chat. $2. Is it possible that it's Luke at the end of this? Yeah, it is. That's the kind of the crazy thing. It is, but I mean, I doubt it. Personally, my gut and kind of the way that I feel like they're shaping the previews and stuff like that is that he's going to make it far, but he is going to go home. So, I mean, anything's possible, right? As long as the footage lines up and we have enough footage to show that they make it a certain way in the show. But I'd say no. Do you think ABC will address the Jed situation? Only if Jed does it with Hannah on the show. And Ava with another super chat. Thank you. $2. What are your thoughts on Jed as of now? Honestly, I do think he had a girlfriend before the show. I don't think she's lying. I think there are a number of things, and I'm not just saying it's my personal opinion, which you know it is. It is. I don't know Jed. I don't know Haley, so I can't speak for them. I can only speak to what I see. But it seems like a lot of the media response is pretty strong to suggest that Jed did or was having another relationship while he was on the show. And yeah, I think it's pretty fishy. No matter what you say, even if you explain the whole situation with this conspiracy theory that Jed's going to bring it up, he's going to be honest and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on Team Jed. Sorry. I think it's pretty fishy no matter what. They posted pictures on the same day in the Bahamas. Yeah, I think there's no doubt that Jed and Haley did have a relationship. I think we can't deny that as her just kind of making it up. I also tend to, like, when someone brings up allegations like that, I tend to believe them. I don't tend to just push them away. So there's a podcast, Roses Tell All podcast, where the host said mutual friends said Jed broke up with a girlfriend before filming. What do you think of that? Possible. I think even regardless, just the fact that he had a girlfriend basically right up to the show is a little bit fishy. Galaxy, Tuesday's my 20th birthday. A birthday shout out, please. Absolutely. Happy 20th birthday. Hope you have a great one on Tuesday. And thank you for the super chat. Galaxy, the Galaxy. Happy birthday, the Galaxy. I'll take him if she doesn't want him. I guess you're talking about Tyler? Absolutely. I totally agree. Hannah G and Connor. Oh, yeah, I could ship that too. Linda with the super chat. Again, thank you. $2. Would 2 bachelors and 30 women work? It's different. Yeah, I don't know. That would be first. I mean, they did the 2 bachelorettes thing, right? With on Caitlyn's season, where the bachelors voted for who they wanted. Maybe, like, that would be interesting. Tweet at Mike Fleiss. Let him know. How did you feel about Cam when he was on the show? Mixed feelings, really. I mean, I didn't like him for the most part. I did do that in defensive, but yeah, I still think mixed things about him. Think Story with a super chat, $5. What do you think about the other Bachelor YouTube channels? What do you offer that the others don't? Insane conspiracies and over obsession. But I don't think about the other Bachelor YouTube channels. It's I watch some of them that I enjoy. I think there's a lot of space on YouTube, so anyways, we've got Diana. How would you rate this season on a scale of 1 to 10? By the way, love your videos. I was actually thinking about this earlier, about how I would do, like, what I did with Colton season was I did a rating video. And one of the things that I would add as a category to this rating system that I developed, I guess, in the last video was, or is something that I'd call the Bachelor Nation factor. And I think that's something that's heavy in this season that's changing things up. Like this whole Jed thing and the reactions to that and the stuff that's outside of the show. It's not the producers, it's not the contestants, it's not the actual lead themselves. That's a major factor that's adding a lot of value to this season. And I would say it's making this season way more interesting. And Roberta Jackson with a $5 super chat. Thank you. What are you most looking forward to at the Men Tell All? I would love if they brought up the the whole thing with Jed. The whole thing with Jed would be wonderful if we got some light on that. I doubt that they will unless it's part of the narrative. I think ABC will try to control the edit otherwise. But I also imagine there's going to be a whole lot of Luke explosion if Luke is still there. And by that I mean he's eliminated by that point. If Luke's eliminated by that point, there's going to be a lot of blowout. Luke, Idolos, thank you for the super chat. Luke is really trying hard and the boys bullying him? ? I think there's a point where if the whole group is against him, it speaks a little bit to him. But I know there are people who think that Luke, because he got off to an early frontrunner status, that he is... A lot of the other contestants were jealous of him, and that was an added pressure. I think there is a bit of that. I do think there is a bit of that, but I think, personally, with Luke, I just have a lot of people that I know who have experienced men like Luke in their life, and I don't agree with his method of interacting with women. So I guess that's how I'll leave that with Luke. Sarah with the super chat, thank you. How did Demi not know about the Jed girlfriend situation before the show like she did for Scott? Well, I think Demi got some producer tips on that. And I wonder if even the producers, before they brought Scott onto the show, already knew his girlfriend situation. Whereas they might not have known that about Jed. So, yeah, I think that whole Detective Demi thing was a bit of a setup, and they thought it'd be great because it would be perfect to keep Demi going through to Paradise and keep the hype up for Paradise. So I'm pretty sure that that's why only Scott got ousted as the girlfriend guy. So, yeah. But, and Tiny Floating Narwhal, will you call Tyler my man TC from now on? Maybe I will. My man TC. I'll add it to my vocabulary. He is my boy. Can the guys, maybe with a super chat, can the guys trust H after all the roses Luke gets? I'd be pretty frustrated. I would be pretty frustrated. So, obviously, I think if they start focusing too much on that, then it's only gonna end up in their downfall. So yes, thanks, Dory. I'm catching up on the donos here, and thank you all for the donos and for supporting the stream. It really means a lot. So thank you all for that. And for Olivia Sunberg for the dono, thank you for that too. Would you do a face reveal for a certain amount of subs? Yes, absolutely. I do plan on doing that in the future. I've set the goal for now as like a big usual YouTube streamer channel milestone is 100k subs. So if you've got if you've got 60K or 65K friends, you know what to do. But we've been moving pretty fast, which is awesome. Santa Zell with a super chat. Who do you think is the best match for Hannah? That's a good question. I mean, I think there's a lot of like Tyler bias because he's just awesome, and so people want to see Tyler happy. They want to see Hannah with Tyler, and they have been more and more of a match, I felt, as time has gone on. I think Pete is also a really good match, so I'd be happy with either. Though I don't know, maybe it was just because this episode had the one-on-one, but I could totally see Pete being actually the best match. So yeah, Tyler is Hannah's soulmate. Tyler's everyone's soulmate. And he was awesome. This episode. I don't know. Are they just giving him the perfect edit or not? But I don't think so. I think part of it also is he just seems like a guy who he never gets mad to. Anyways, Mike I don't believe is Hannah's soulmate, but I believe he could be someone soulmate that we might find out in January. Thoughts on Latvian culture? They lay it all bare. That's all I can say. They aren't afraid to take a leap of faith and leave it all out bare for them. Yep. So Peter's such a sweetheart. I know. Tyler is such a sweetheart. Absolutely. Does Garrett annoy you? Not really. Not really. I think he's gotten a little swept up in the drama of it all. So I think that's kind of been unfortunate for him. And I think Luke will be his downfall. Julia, thanks for the super chat. What happened to Connor? Looked like a frontrunner. I know, he just he got the Katie treatment from last season. If you remember, during Colton's season, Katie seemed like a frontrunner as well. She was an early frontrunner who got off to a great start, and then she just slowly never got footage. And by the end of it, it was like, oh yeah, of course she's gone. We never see her. And that's happened to Connor too. So I think that's just kind of what happened. The drama shifted one way. He didn't get any screen time, and now he's just gonna get ousted right before hometowns. Poor Connor. But he's a big guy for Bachelor in Paradise. I think he'll be popular there. And Emily Haynes with a super chat. Who do you think leaves early next week? So yeah, there was this part in the preview where Tyler says something, and now there are only 5 guys left, which obviously means someone leaves early. And so Connor is a possible person to be leaving, to be ousted, but it could also be Mike, because I've theorized in my preview video that Mike is going to get a one-on-one next week and then not get a rose. So it could be that who Tyler's talking about is Mike, who doesn't get a rose on a one-on-one with Hannah. Peter speaking Spanish? I know. Do you think there should be a therapist on call for the Bachelor/Bachelorette series? Some contestants appear to be unhinged. Yeah, I think there should be every opportunity to help any contestant in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot going on in the show, but I mean, why not? Why can't they do that for someone if that's what they needed? There's a lot of emotions, so. I think Tyler said there are 5 guys here who hate you, meaning there are 6 left. Oh, maybe. I'll have to do a double take on the preview. I'll definitely be looking at it more in depth before Wednesday when I put the video out. Who do you think are the final 2? Well, Crystal, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, it's honestly, I'm not 100% certain. So I was pretty certain up until before last week that the final 2 were going to be Jed and Tyler. and I still think Tyler is final two. It's just Peter has been kind of creeping up, so it could be Jed or it could be Peter, is what I'm thinking. And it's all going to depend on how this mystery proposer thing turns out. But um, I mean, if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say Jed and Tyler for now. But Peter throughout the whole season has been steadily rising. So good on him. Yeah, don't text and drive. I know. Stay in your lane, everybody. Stay in your lane. Don't look at anyone else's lane. Stay in your lane. And whatever you do, don't bring up Neil Lane. But do you think Blake will be on Paradise? He is already confirmed on Paradise. So he is going to be there. I'm so sad about Dylan leaving. Yeah, Dylan was another person who really just he didn't get any time. And I mean, according to him this episode, it was because of Luke taking up all the time. But yeah, poor Dylan. And some of the social media posts that I've seen about Dylan and the things that he said, it seems like he actually is was a pretty nice guy. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I've only seen a couple. But yeah, Dylan and Dustin. Yeah, Dustin seems so sweet too. I mean, again, he got the same treatment, just cut on the editing room floor. Dylan was great. Just goes to show what drama does. Yeah, and that's the big problem for many of the contestants. They get caught up in the drama, and sometimes I feel like, if you're on the show and you're near the end and you have a really strong suspicion about who the frontrunners are or who's going to make it to hometowns, and you're not one of them, I wouldn't be surprised if you start thinking, yeah, I'm gonna embrace this drama to get some TV time. But I mean, who knows? I'm not in Garrett's or anyone else's mind. Allison, thank you for the donation. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Garrett said "I love you," or what did he? What was the exact thing he said? He said something like, anyways, I don't know. But Garrett did. He did say that, and I still don't think it's going to change anything. I think he's going to go home. Could Paradise catapult someone to Bachelor like what happened with Colton? I think absolutely it could. I think the people at The Bachelor are starting to realize that Bachelor in Paradise has a lot of power. And it just kind of makes sense in the flow of how this sort of cyclical Bachelor season goes, right? So you have The Bachelor, and The Bachelor chooses their final two or final four, and then one of the final four is always someone that we like, or final six, like Hannah, who we want to see their love story continue, and then they become the Bachelorette, and then a whole bunch of people from the Bachelorette and Bachelor get on Bachelor in Paradise, and then there's one person whose story isn't finished, and we want to see their story continue, and they go on The Bachelor, and then they have a bunch of people, and we want to see someone from their season story continue, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So it makes sense that someone from Bachelor in Paradise would become the Bachelor. I think the people at the Bachelor are starting to realize that. Rooting for Dylan so hard on Paradise? Yeah. I feel like me too. Me too. I mean, I'm rooting for most anybody to get a good. It's always sweet to see people that missed out on love get together on Paradise. Probably my favorite season of Bachelor in Paradise is the one with Evan and Carly, where they were like 3 proposals. It was crazy on one season. What do you think about Jed whispering to Hannah as if he was hoping the mic wouldn't pick up on it, that he's falling in love with her? Let's talk. I don't know if he was hoping the mic wouldn't pick up on it. I think he was just trying to be intimate. But I think at this at that point you kind of are aware that pretty much everything you do gets caught on camera or by a microphone. Current feelings on Jed / next Bachelor. Jed, ugh. And next Bachelor, Mike. Unless something crazy happens, which makes it more interesting to be someone else, but I think Mike. That's where my vote's going right now. Yeah, I wanted to get to know Dylan more. At least he's on Paradise. Oh, is it confirmed? I haven't checked. I should be better on this, but I should check some of the other. I know they've made a lot of announcements. I didn't know Dylan, but I guess it makes sense that it wouldn't have come out because he was still in the show, and there's still that possibility he could end up with Hannah, even though we pretty much know that's not going to happen. But anyways. Did you think Luke was lying when he was telling Hannah that he didn't mean it like that in their couch conversation about the naked bungee date? I don't know. His interview talks kind of speak differently. I think sometimes when he's with Hannah, he really tries to say what she wants to hear. I don't think he's just flat out lying to her. I think he often says just what he wants, or what he thinks she wants to hear. So, do you think Luke is gaslighting Hannah? Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, from as far as I can tell, he's pretty much doing the definition of gaslighting. So, I mean, I can only speak to what they show us on the TV show, but if what they show us on the TV show is the story, then yeah. So, what do you think of Lauren Zima interviewing Jed's ex? Yeah, I saw a bit of that. I saw a bit of that in prep for the video I released today, and at that point, she seemed pretty. At least in the interview that I saw, she seemed pretty like, no, Jed's. I don't wish him too much harm, but I have seen a couple of other articles come out since then where it's kind of put into question how she feels about Jed and this whole thing. So it's messy. It's really messy. Yeah, I'm falling in love or he's driving me crazy. Not a good indicator for love. Yeah. 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 Not a good sign. The Lauren interview seemed coached to me. I mean, the tinfoil hat on me was wondering similar things. So, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy to really get deeply into the conspiracy there, but maybe. When Peter talks, it's sort of the paint by numbers Bachelor talk, but those hands, damn. Yeah, well, I think Peter seems, at least compared to some of the other guys, he seems really really genuine. So, and he's pretty yeah, he's out of the drama, so I think that's what I appreciate so much about Peter. If I was one of the guys and saw that Hannah gave Luke P another rose, I probably would have left because she wasn't the one for me. Yeah, and that's fair too. That's like, I think about that sometimes. If you're on the show and you see one person really giving time to someone you genuinely are against, then you wonder, like, is this the person for me? Is it just better for me to leave now? And I could understand that if someone did that. So, what happened to Tyler G? Oh yeah, like way back when he had that one-on-one, and then the next episode he was gone. So I haven't looked into any updates on what happened with him since I did my take during the video, where the week where whatever week it was that he left. but apparently there were some allegations of him being a pretty nasty guy. So, thanks, Story. Thanks for the super chat. When is the official face reveal? Are you doing something special for 50k subs? The official face reveal is not planned as of yet. We'll we'll get there. But are you doing something special for 50k subs? Yeah, I might do something like I'll do a dog reveal. I have 2 dogs, so I'll do a dog reveal at 50k. So, who is worse, Chad or Luke? We'll have to go to the tape and really examine that one. But I don't know. You know what? For that, Chad did give me one of my favorite moments. The part where he said like "F you, Chris Harrison." That was pretty. Yeah. So, do you think Grant got a job after the show aired? Oh, these are the real questions we should be asking. Is anybody checking up on Garrett? How is he doing? What Dustin said at the end, though, was pretty intense about if Hannah is keeping Luke, she already loves him. If any of the other guys acted how Luke acts, they'd be gone. Yeah, a very fair point. That's part of it. I think she has strong feelings for Luke. So, I think she's kind of battling with herself right now. So, do you think Tyler will leave because she keeps picking Luke? I don't think so. I don't think Tyler's gonna leave. I think the only person who would leave, maybe Mike. I think Connor or Mike are the only people who would leave. And probably just Connor leaving would be because he knows that he's on the way out anyway. Yeah, she's clinging to the one tiny spark, despite the red flags. Absolutely. But that's it. So we are going to get to the end part of the stream here. We're going to be getting down here to the last few questions. Oh, did I? Sorry, thought I just turned it off. But I didn't. So if you have your last bit of questions, I got to get up early in the morning, start putting out those videos. So last questions now. Oh, and we have a super chat. Thank you, Jessica. Should staff step in when gaslighting gets too bad? I think they should. I think they should. I think it's their responsibility. I know there's a line of they want to make good TV, but I mean, it's a moral thing more than it is just like making good TV shows, right? There's a time where you have to step in. So yeah, gaslighting is kind of like it's psychological manipulation. It's telling someone, I don't know, Google it. You'll get the perfect definition. When does Jed go home potentially? I feel like he's definitely making it to hometowns. That would be the earliest. Are you sad that the salmon jacket is gone? That's the real tragedy. That is the real tragedy. Where's the jacket? Are we going to see it again? Will it show up on eBay for $1 million in a week? These are the things that keep me up at night. When's hometowns? We've got one more episode, and then it's hometowns. And so we're getting down to the end. But all right, everybody, I'm going to be heading out. Keep tuned to the channel. Tomorrow we've got our recap. Then the day after we've got our preview breakdown video, It's been another awesome night of streaming. We're back to our usual 2 hours of The Bachelorette instead of the 1 hour rose ceremony and the recap video. Who do I think is going to be the next Bachelor? My money's on Mike right now. Who is your all-time favorite Bachelor / Bachelorette? That is a I don't know. That is really tough. I'll tell you, Bachelorette. I've been Team JoJo for a while, but I'd really have to think more on that. Maybe I'll post that on a video. Hometowns is not next week, but the week after. It's been a wonderful stream. Hope you all have a great night. And with that, Bachelor Fantake out.